This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
Hello, I'm Dr. Anita Mani. I'm an infertility specialist and we have been doing a lot of topics related to infertility. So, in today's program, we are going to discuss something which is very interesting. Most of the people want to lose weight, right? But it's not the easiest thing. So, I have a special guest, Miss Priyanka, nutritional specialist from Australia.
Thank you, Dr. Anita. We thought we'd talk about in this episode issues regarding weight loss and how we can achieve that faster, and just all the misconceptions around it and fad diets.
Okay, about weight loss. What shall we discuss about weight loss?
Well, it is a vast ocean of information, especially if you think about looking up online. But it can be simplified into basic principles which you can follow and understand the basic concept of how it works. I think it's really important to know the science behind it, at least a little bit, just to understand how it works as well. What do you tell your patients about the science behind food?
As a doctor, you know that doctors don't get a lot of time to talk about diet, but you know it's very important, very, very important.
You're telling me?
It's very important for the patient to understand that there's a saying like, you are what you eat, right? So if they have a problem, that's why they come to us in the first place. So what is the reason for the problem? I think 90% of all the diseases, all the problems that humans face, including that of infertility, a major cause is because we eat the wrong kind of foods the wrong way. Okay, and that is the reason why we need to have a lot of information be given to the patient. So as a doctor, we get very little time, but I try my best to convince the patient that it is important that they understand the role of diet, and that they need to probably get a dietitian involved as well.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it's easy to think. If you think of it this way, the only thing that we are being in contact with directly is food, because we ingest food and we're actually absorbing everything we eat. So we are becoming what we eat biochemically, like our cells are made of what we take externally. So it's like the single most important connection that we have with our environment. So it has to be very important. And it's something that you can alter the most because you choose what you eat.
Yeah.
But it's also important to know how this works. Why do people get fat? It's important. Or what are vitamins? How does this work? Can I just take supplements? What happens if I don't eat? These are all important questions that you need to think about. Well, there's an easy explanation regarding fat gain and weight loss. You can describe it, for example, you have a certain amount of calories intake in a day. You can explain it in a sense that it's a leaky bucket. So just think of a bucket with a leak, with a tiny leak where water drips. So when you put water into the bucket, this is your daily energy flow that essentially food. And the more energy you put, if there's an equal amount of dripping water, that means you're going to stay in the same weight because you're not gaining any. But if you put way too much water with the same energy expenditure, which is the leak, you're going to end up with more energy and gain weight. So you can use this basic principle to find out why you gain weight. It's really simple. If you eat more calories than you expend, you gain weight. So if you want to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you eat. So you
need to make a lot of leaks in the bucket?
Exactly.
Or put less in the bucket?
I think it's a bit of both, because the basic principle is that you can't go below 1,200 calories. You know, we need energy. Energy is not a bad thing. Energy is really important, you know, to be happy.
It's
And
nice to know that you can eat.
yeah, you have to eat. Eating is essential. Like the whole stigma around eating is bad, fat is bad. It's overeating is bad. So it's a big difference. And I think what happens now is just you have to expend the energy that you get, and you have to focus more on foods that give you more different kinds of nutrients. So not just calorie packed, for example, a cheesecake. You can eat this much cheesecake, but if you, in terms of vegetables, for the same calories, you can eat that much vegetables.
Oh.
And, you know, you live longer, so.
But it's so difficult to decide, like, you know, we are so tuned to eat things that we like. I mean, it's like, you know, we are almost feeding our brain. How can we make a difference?
The thing is, you have to look at it in a different way. For example, when you eat food, it has the same effect on you as drugs, because it can be addicting. And that's why so many people have a problem. That's why we have so many obese people. It is a problem. It's an addiction. So we have to treat it the same way we would treat an addiction. You would need a rehab. You need to think about it. You need support. And I think a lot of one thing that's really ignored regarding obesity is that everyone ignores the psychological part of it. A lot of people eat because they're lonely or because they're not happy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was reading about a study the other day, and a lot of people that are obese are correlated to be depressed. So
yeah.
We're not sure if depression causes obesity or obesity causes depression. It's a fine line, but mostly people are addicted because there's something
bothering them.
Yeah, they're vulnerable. And I think instead of shunning them to a side saying you're fat or you're obese, we're taking the wrong approach. We need to accept them, and, you know, they need to feel accepted in the society, which they're not. So much shaming, they're not being accepted. I think that's another thing we need to look at. You know, if you're so concerned about weight loss, you have to be concerned about it's a society's problem, and you have to look at other people and think they must be going through something. It's not just, you know, it's just the tip of the iceberg if someone's fat. It's just there's so much happening inside you that you can't see, but it's really important.
So we need to tackle the person as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just how in medicine, I'm sure you follow the same route. It's not about just preventing or curing. It's a whole thing. Like it's not just eating food. It's being happy. It's all interconnected. And I think a good way to start the cycle, this positive feedback, as you say, is treating yourself right.
So we should get a counselor involved as well, maybe?
I think people should also realize, like, I think it's a big problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Is fat shaming. And when you see somebody that's really overweight or really, really obese, you think, oh, I'm glad I'm not him, or just kind of shun them. You automatically associate other words like lazy, or you just, you know, oh, a fat person must be jolly. So it's not right. You have to think of it in a different, holistic kind of view, that they're going through some problems, you could help them out instead of shunning them into a corner. I think that's important to realize.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
Southend Fertility and IVF, where hope meets happiness. Established in 2001 and guided by care, ethics and expertise, Southend has completed over 10,000 ART cycles. It offers comprehensive infertility treatment for both men and women. Modern facilities and experienced team is the hallmark of Southend. The centers are at Vasant Vihar, Gurgaon, Saket, Paschim Bihar and Amritsar. Southend Fertility and IVF.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
What kind of a diet you would advise or a change of diet you would advise to a person who is having problems with weight issues?
I think instead of looking at everything in a very strict way, I think a better way would be to follow some principles.
Yeah.
So set yourself out some basic principles that you could follow, and then stick to those every single day instead of going on a crash diet for 1 month, losing weight and then gaining it back. It's important to think of a sustainable way for the long term that actually makes you happy and everyone else around you happy. And I think that's what people need to focus on more. And I'll give you a few tips that I would suggest as basic principles.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows a little bit about, you know, this and there, but it's really hard to stick to those points. I'll give you an example. A principle that I would follow is simply avoid processed food. The more processed food is, the worse it is for you. You may not taste it, but if you actually look into how a thing is made, you'll see the chemicals put into, you'll put the sugar, the fat. It's crazy. They don't care about you. They want to get money. They'll do anything to make you hooked on that food. It's crazy. But I think...
Give us some examples of processed food.
Well, I don't want to name names, but how about sugary drinks, for example? This is the single most thing that people can avoid for obesity. A single can of sugary drink has 16 spoons of sugar.
16 spoons of
16
sugar?
teaspoons. I wish I could show you
that.
how much that is. 16 teaspoons of sugar in one can. And how many cans would you drink? You wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't think it's a bad thing.
So it's like if you're going to have a sugary, sweet drink, a can, a bottle, or whatever, so you're going to add sugar of around 16 spoons. Is like, you know, if you put 1 teaspoon in a tea, so around 16 tea. My God.
That's like 3 times the amount of sugar you can eat in one day that you're having in one drink.
So would you not die if you take that much of
Well,
sweet drinks in a day?
You do see people.
My God. And you find that kids are having this all the time.
That's really sad. I think that's one thing parents should concentrate. You know, just to, you know, shut up the child, you will give them whatever they want. But it's not right, because I've seen patients that have little children with problems with their teeth because they don't know that they're not allowed to give them sugary drinks. Some parents even give them sugary drinks instead of infant formula.
Oh my God.
No, this is even in Australia. It's the thing. People are educated, but, you know, just to be easy, just, you know, they're not patient enough. They just feed their babies, or, you know, they just have new teeth and they're feeding them sugary drinks, and they have to have surgeries getting rid of all their teeth.
Oh my God. I mean, why wouldn't anybody do something? Because the government's, what is the reason that these things are still, so we all know it's bad, but why is it happening in every single family all over the world? Why?
I think it was a little bit of a misunderstanding, because people don't really consider, like until now, people don't really consider sugary drinks to be unhealthy.
Okay.
They just drink it, you know, it's a hot day and you want something refreshing, people would say. And
so it's a lot about public awareness.
Yeah.
So don't you think that this should be taught in schools?
Definitely. I think, you know, we're trying, as nutritionists, we're trying to incorporate some of these values in schools, but at the moment it's a little bit hard because, you know, all sugary drinks companies are...
Actually, I just remembered this, I think most of the people know Jamie Oliver.
Oh yeah.
The chef.
He's great.
Yeah, so what he does is that he's a very famous chef, TV chef.
Celebrity chef.
Celebrity chef. He does a lot of activities about healthy food in UK, and he actually managed to twist the arm of the government in order to change the rules, because these the schools in UK, they provide the meals in the canteens, and in UK he managed to change the rules in a way that they stopped giving unhealthy food to the school children. So now they are giving healthier food. Not only that, he also managed to get a ban on keeping the sugary drinks and the fried items like potatoes. I don't want to talk about trade names, but he managed to get them out of the school vending machines, and he managed to even bring about a change in the school curriculum. So now they have cooking classes in the school curriculum, and also they have included the healthy food stuff also in the school curriculum. So somebody has actually managed to make a huge difference is Jamie Oliver. I just hope that we have more and more celebrity chefs. Maybe you could do that in Australia or in US, India, wherever, I don't know. But when people know things, you should be able to get it out to the public and make a difference. And people don't know this stuff, so it's really amazing to get information. So information, you need to give that to the public. And talking about diet, what further you would consider about?
Well, yeah. I think rule number 2, I think everybody knows, is just eat fruits and vegetables as much as you can. Eat fruits and vegetables, and cook them in a good way. Don't deep fry vegetables. That's not going to do the point. But you need to eat a wide variety of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, colorful food. I don't mean cheesecake with food coloring. That is colorful.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
Southend Fertility and IVF, where hope meets happiness. Established in 2001 and guided by care, ethics and expertise, Southend has completed over 10,000 ART cycles. It offers comprehensive infertility treatment for both men and women. Modern facilities and experienced team is the hallmark of Southend. The centers are at Vasant Vihar, Gurgaon, Saket, Paschim Vihar and Amritsar. Southend Fertility and IVF.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.
Another principle is to eat a wide variety of fruit and vegetables every single day, every single meal, and it's really important. So if you have a plate, just for practical reasons, just measure it in a way at least 1/3 of it is green or red with fruit and vegetables. And yeah, try to have fruit and veg at every single meal. And there are some cheat tricks to get your daily antioxidants as well. There's certain food that's really high in these antioxidants. So antioxidants basically get rid of your free radicals in your body, so they control aging, they can reduce aging signs and inflammation. They're amazing for you. But how to get these is pretty much from plant-based foods. And there are certain foods, like Indian spices, that are really high in these antioxidants. So if you want to get a really good boost on antioxidants, have an apple, or put some cloves in your curry, or some turmeric. It's very simple. But the baseline is all plant foods have antioxidants. Some of them have more, some of them have less, but you need to eat plants at every meal.
See, for an ordinary person, how would they actually know how much they should eat? Like, how can they actually count the calories?
Well, I think now with internet, it's really easy to calculate, or you wouldn't need to come to me. It's very easy to calculate how many calories you need. And these all depend on your height, your age, your gender, and importantly, your activity level. If you move a lot or if you do any exercise. And if you go online, it's very easy to find out how much. Just type in how many calories do I need. So it's very simple. And you can find out how much. And I think nowadays with smartphones, you get apps where you can just write down what you eat, and they'll tell you how much you need to eat to lose weight or gain weight. So it's not really the problem of, you know, getting the information. It's actually sticking with it, because it takes a lot of willpower.
Effort. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what is your opinion on animal products and you know, poultry, milk and milk products, red meat, and stuff like that?
So we were talking about animal products and the overconsumption. Well, in a standard American diet, they eat meat every time of the day. So each meal they're eating meat or animal products. So that's too much. Like we're meant to eat a little bit, but not this much. So it's actually crazy exaggerated how many products has animal product in it. It's crazy, and I think people don't really think about it because it's marketed to be extremely, you know, healthy, but not to this point where you put it in everything. Again, eat mostly plants. What do you think about that?
What do you feel about the products like sausages and bacon and all that?
No, I was actually seeing videos on how they make it, and take a look yourself. Go to YouTube, right? Because I really enjoy these things, so I wanted to spoil it for myself. So I just went online and typed, how is a sausage hot dog made? And then they show you the factory and they show you how they make it, and you'll never eat it again. At least if you're like me. It's an emulsion of fat. They use like waste products or trimmings that, you know,
which you would throw it away.
Yeah, and then they just mush that all up.
Oh.
And then they make it into like a pink gooey thing, and they like add fat, and they put like a plastic. It's terrifying.
So what these kids love is actually mostly waste product of the animals.
Yeah.
The trimmings.
But the thing is, I think these companies are really smart because they have, you know, they have got the steaks, but then they're like, what do we do with all these other products? How we would sell them?
So they just turn that waste into something.
Exactly.
Which is
in a way, it's really smart, but technically you're eating another
waste.
company's waste products, and it has its own, because it's so chemically, there's so much chemicals in it that we don't know. There's parts of it, of an animal, that we don't know. It could be anything. We don't know. We can't see it. So it's just anything that you can't see and understand. There's something going on. And
is that same with you know, the salami and
everything? It's just mushed up. Everything that's gone kind of to waste, and it's really fatty. It tastes great because they know how to get you. They hook you up on all the fats, and they just, it's like a loop.
and addictive.
Yeah, it's addicting, and you know, it's a lot of salt, fat, and sugar. It's everything that you don't want too much in one thing.
So ideally, if somebody wants to lose weight, they should never take stuff like sausages and bacon and salami.
Well, I'm going to contradict you there and say, not just lose weight, just
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the thing. I think the stigma with weight loss is people concentrate too much on losing weight that they forget what's important. And what's important is to be healthy, to be fit, to be happy, to be immune. And that's what you need to concentrate on. So if you do go on a weight loss journey, I think you should more go on a healthy journey and have weight loss as a side product.
Yes.
And that's what people don't do. For example, I had a client, she didn't listen to me, and she wanted to go on a crazy diet and lose weight, and she just ended up not eating anything at all. And she did lose weight, but she looks terrible and she feels terrible. People around her feel bad, and it's not the way to go. Like, losing weight is not the biggest thing on the planet. Being healthy is. And if you focus on the latter, the other one will come.
Yeah.
And I think...
So the point is that it's not just you try to lose weight, it's that like you try to become healthy and you lose weight anyway. Exactly. And everyone needs to do that.
And it's not easy.
Wonderful.
It's a lifelong commitment. There's no quick fixes. That's one thing you need to focus on, is that there is no quick fix. There is no magic trick. It's hard work, but you'll feel good, and it's worth it if you just give it a try.
And you have to do exercise as well.
Of course. I think, well, maybe I have a nutritionist bias, but I think in terms of weight loss, food's more important.
Okay.
But exercise is drastically important. But just in terms of losing weight.
So it's not enough that you just work out. You have to concentrate on your diet as well.
More so.
Yeah.
If you work out and then you come home to eat a burger, that doesn't, you're going to end up gaining weight. Because I actually have a lot of friends that come up to me and they work out crazy, and they ask me, so why am I not losing? They're actually gaining weight. They have like a little, but it doesn't make sense. But I said, well, if you work out 3 hours, come home and eat the rest 6 hours, and that's not going to burn enough calories. And you should see what they think is healthy. It's crazy. Like, oh, I'm eating a breadcrumb deep fried steak. Of course it's healthy. I have some lettuce on it. Well, it's... Well, and this is the situation of like students that study my subject. So again, what is the condition of normal people? It's
Thank you very much for the enlightening talk about weight loss, and we hope you to give us more talks on foodstuffs.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll see you again.
This program is brought to you by Southend Fertility and IVF.